Hello and welcome to i-nastava. This is an English lesson for the 4th grade of high school. Our topic today is Generation Z. My name is Ivana Štiglec and I will be your teacher today. In our today's lesson, you will define the traits of Gen Z, you will compare Gen Z with other generations, and you will investigate how the media portray Gen Z. For our today's lesson, you will need your notebook, something to write with, and make sure to have internet access all the time. So let's start. In our first task, I would like you to take a look at these expressions. Gen Z, Gen A, Millennials, Gen X, iGen, Millennials, Gen Y, and Boomers. Have you ever heard of these expressions? What do they mean? Pause this video lesson and write in your notebook what you know about these groups of people. You can also do internet research and find out more about these groups of people. So pause this video lesson and do this task. What separates Gen Y from Gen X? How old is each generation? Are they really that different? There is much confusion about generational cohorts. And if you feel a bit confused by this alphabet soup, you're not alone. A common source of confusion when labeling generations is their age. Generational cohorts are defined loosely by birth year, not current age. Your task on this slide is to define when each generation starts and finishes. Remember that these generational cohorts are defined loosely. So pause this video lesson and try to determine when each of these generations starts and finishes. Let's check. Boomers were born between 1946 and 1964. Gen X is a generation born between 1965 and 1979. Gen Y, or Millennials, were born between 1980 and 1996. Your generation, or Gen Z, or iGen, or Millennials, were born between 1997 and 2012. And Gen A are those born between 2012 and 2025. Well done. You belong to Gen Z. The average member of Gen Z received their first mobile phone when they were 10. Many of them grew up playing with their parents' mobile phones or tablets. They have grown up in a hyper-connected world, and the smartphone is their preferred method of communication. And they are also shaped by social media. Now, think about these two questions. How does the media portray people your age? And what stereotypes about teenagers do the adults you know have? So pause this video lesson, think about these two questions, and try to answer them in your notebook. In our next activity, I will show you 9 different statements about Gen Z. Your task is to pause the video lesson after each statement and decide whether you agree or disagree with the statement. You should write your comments in your notebook. So let's start with the first statement. Their most used website is YouTube and the most used app is Snapchat. So pause the video lesson and write whether you agree or disagree with this statement, and write some other comments if you have them. Next, they use 5 screens on average: a smartphone, a TV, a desktop, a laptop, and a tablet. 72% of Gen Z want to own their own business. They are excellent multitaskers. They work, play, and chat at once. They prefer online to in-person communication. 60% of them would rather be an employer than an employee. They are concerned about humanity's impact on the planet. Gen Z consumes 74% of their spare time online. And the last statement, most of them display symptoms of emotional distress when away from their devices. So please write comments for each of these statements. It's your turn now. I would like you to prepare questions in Croatian and use them to interview a few members of your generation and a few members of a different generation. Using the answers you get, you should create a report comparing two different generations. Please prepare questions on the following subtopics. You should include at least 5 subtopics: free time, going out, dating, the effect of global events on the generation, communication with friends, technology, upbringing, body image, religion, health, entertainment. You can also include some other topics as well. Good luck! This checklist will help you to write your report. Make sure to summarize the main ideas expressed by interviewees. Make sure to compare two different generations in your report. The information in your report should be well organized. You should include at least 5 subtopics in your report, and when you finish, please check grammar and spelling. In our next activity, you are going to watch a short video about Gen Z. While watching the video for the first time, you should answer the question that is on the slide. Is Gen Z portrayed in a good or bad light in this video? So please pause this video lesson, scan the QR code, or type this link into your browser, bit.ly Gen Z with, and watch the video. Now you should watch the video for the second time. While watching, your task is to list all Gen Z traits presented in the video. So pause this video lesson and watch the video about Gen Z for the second time. Let's check all Gen Z traits presented in the video. They don't know the world without the internet. They spend a lot more time communicating with their friends electronically. They turn to technology for entertainment, research, education. They are truly digital natives. Their social media interaction is linked to depression and anxiety. They will go for a work-life blend where work and life are not separated, but are 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Their developmental trajectory is slowed down. It will take them longer to settle down into careers, to marry, to have children. They are the most diverse and the most interconnected generation. They value equality the most, and they don't fear failure. Well done. Your next task is a gap fill exercise. Please scan this QR code or type the link into your browser, bit.ly gapfill Gen Z, and do this task. Good luck. Now think about what you have learned about Gen Z today. Pause this video lesson and try to answer these questions. How much does when you are born shape who you are? How do you think other generations are different from yours? How have the people your age been affected by the events, technology, and culture of the years in which you have grown up? And the last question, is it easier to be a teenager today than it was 30 years ago? Pause the video lesson, think about these questions, and answer them in your notebook. This is your last task for today. Investigate how different types of media portray Gen Z. Collect information, articles, statistics, videos, memes, social media posts from different media sources, for example, internet, newspapers, magazines. Create a presentation including all the evidence that you collect and include your comments and thoughts on these pieces of evidence in the presentation. I hope you will like this task. Good luck. To conclude, I would like you to use the emojis below to summarize our today's lesson. So please write something you liked about the lesson, something you loved about the lesson, something that surprised you about this lesson, and one conclusion you came to during the lesson. This is the end of our today's lesson. Thank you for taking part. Goodbye.